Adam Perry here, and I am going to go over my process for tonight's NHL DFS slate. It is the playoffs. We're in round 2. We had a very exciting round 1. From a DFS and betting standpoint, it was also exciting. We had some good outcomes, and we had some good betting outcomes using the pay-dirt model. So I'm going to post those in Discord, so come and join us in Discord. Don't forget, if you like what you see and what we do here in the next 5-10 minutes of building lineups, like, subscribe, and check out TrueDFS.com. You can get access to everything we have for not much more than it costs if you bought these things a la carte. If you bought SaberSim, which we're going to use to simulate the contests, and the pay dirt model for DFS and betting, the premium Discord, Goldie's projections, Sheets' projections, it's all there. So don't forget to check that out. Now, I'm not going to make too many changes. It's just a 2-game slate. The totals are all pretty close to each other except for Vegas. I assume that we're going to get Vegas in the Saber score metric, but that when we run contest sims, they're probably going to be a little too chalky just because they're coming in as the highest owned with the highest projection, but that's not too much more. And on a 2-game slate, I mean, I don't know how much you want to get to. Now, I'm also not going to do too many changes to the stacks. I do want some correlation. So, like, I'm going to tell it to don't bother building these 2-mans. I know it's only a 2-game slate, but I just don't see any reason for the really low correlated stuff. I'm not even sure you could do those. But, yeah, I guess you could. 4 teams, okay. But 2, it doesn't even make sense. So, okay, let's take off some of these really lowly correlated stuff. And then let's build. We'll do this for DraftKings. We'll do it for FanDuel. And we'll get out of here. We've already switched to Goldie's projections that we want to use to build lineups. So, I will say that those who know hockey or basketball have a little bit more of an advantage in the playoffs, where rotations are changing and coaches are maybe making matchup changes, things like that. It's especially the case in NBA, but it's to some extent in hockey, and the time on ice consolidates and stuff like that. I'm more of a trust the projections and sim guy, so I still think you have an advantage doing it my way to some extent, but you do get some added value if you really understand the ice time and rotations and how the lines are being used and stuff like that. So, okay, I think we're building, I think it's like a 47 entry, something like that for the flagship. So let's see in our top 47 ROI lineups who we get to. People ask, what are you doing on DraftKings? Well, this is not exactly what I'm doing because I'm going to do this right before lock. But if things were now, and we would still get these kind of onslaught stacks in our top ROI, and our top stack would be Edmonton, followed by Carolina, Washington, Vegas. In our onslaughts, it's all Edmonton, right? So we might want to adjust that a bit. So let's see if we ask it for some uniques, if that changes things at all. Not much. Let's see, 4 uniques if we start getting. Yeah, now we're getting a little bit better diversity. We're only going down in our pool, not so far. Oh, there's a new, I got to get used to the new SaberSim release so I could see. Usually I like to see how far down in the pool it goes, but they've changed the lineup cards a bit. So let's see. ROI gives me the ROI. Okay, but it doesn't tell me what number in the pool it is. Come on, SaberSim. Where did you put that? It's just a new release today. Okay, so we don't have that at the moment. We've got to learn the new SaberSim. They're always, oh, here we go. Right at the top left. So with 4 uniques, we're only going down to 228th in a pool of 5,000. We're getting a lot more uniqueness. Let's see if there's any players we just have tons of exposure to that we might be uncomfortable with. Not really, right? At first, we were getting a lot of Picard. We're still getting a lot of Picard. not Captain Picard, but hopefully he'll be like our captain goalie tonight. Yeah. So 50% of a goal. I mean, I'm okay with that. Are there any other goalies we're like, no? And Logan Thompson on the other end, a little negative correlation. I'm okay with that. So what are we playing on FanDuel? We're playing a lot of onslaughts and 4-3s. Sorry, on DraftKings. Mostly Edmonton as our highest owned stack, then Washington, follow little Vegas and Carolina. And that's how we do it. So imagine we're 10 minutes before lock, we're doing this when the projections are as sharp as possible. The only thing you need to do then is you need to see how your lineups are performing at about 8:30 Central, right? Because at 8:30 Central, there's going to be another lock. And if your lineups aren't doing good, you may want to get off chalk. And if your lineups are doing poorly, you may want to get off the chalk. And if your lineups are doing good, you may want to get on some chalkier pieces that are higher projected. So something to think about there. But that's how we'd run it. And let's run for FanDuel, and then we'll get out of here. We'll take off the min salary. We'll switch to Goldie's projections. And we'll get rid of some of these. I mean, you can't really play them anyway. And then let's build and see where we get. If you've been watching these over the last month or two, we've been doing the same thing every day, right? You shouldn't have to watch it more than 2-3 times to get an idea for the process and how it works. It's a simple process. It's a repeatable process. And all we're doing with these videos is getting reps in so we could do it better, faster, more efficiently as it gets closer to lock. So if there's any news, anything we need to handle, we are ready to go with our process and we have it down pat. So let's say we're running, let's see how many entries there are allowed in this 40. It's a 40 max. Okay. So let's see if we're running 40 lineups, who we're going to get to. In SaberSim, let's sort by the contest ROI. And let's sort by exposure here. Boy, look at all that McDavid and Draisaitl. This is going to be more 100% Edmonton. We had 68% on DraftKings. I'm going to say give me a most 40. We've got plenty of exposure. Now we're getting 100% Vegas. I don't know if we want 100%, but I'm okay taking a good amount. Now it's some healthier diversity. The only team on both sites that we just don't have a lot of is Carolina. That's okay. Let's see how far down in our pool we have to go. Going pretty far down in our pool. So there's some question if we want to do that. But I think it's all right. We're not halfway through. It's a pretty big GPP. Let's see if there's any players we're uncomfortable with the exposure to. Ovechkin, our highest owned here. Strome. Still get a lot of the Draisaitl and McDavid. Okay, I'm okay with it. Right? We're going to get some diversity on FanDuel that we didn't have on DraftKings. We'll let those portfolios kind of work together. Now let's take a look. See if there's any top bets today. In pay dirt. We might not have this. It's been updating a little slower for the playoffs, so let's see. Here we go. So let's see if we wanted to look at our props. Now these props, I think James, who runs the models, said they returned about a 5% ROI this year on these prop bets. So that's over the course of the entire season. So we're really happy with how that's gone. Team Underground, reps, process, so important. I completely agree. Completely agree. You know, it may seem like overkill, and you can watch it and say, boy, I didn't learn anything, but that's okay. You only need to watch this a couple times to get an idea for how process works and how we trust that process and go through it with getting reps every day. So it helps me to do these videos despite not changing much. So our best edge on a shot on goal is an under. And it looks like Anthony Beauvillier Okay. Under 1.5 shots on goal at 191 decimal odds. Let's see. Convert decimal odds. Decimal. I know how to convert it to a fraction to American. Okay. 1.91. I think this is -110. Yep, -110. So there's our top bet on an under for shots on goal. Let's see some of these long shots, like the assists. We've been doing well on these. Oh, Connor McDavid. Okay, let's see what that edge looks like. Connor McDavid over on assists. Jarvis over at +145. Here's the under on Eichel at +110. I'm going to go post some of these in Discord. Remember, you get access to all of these with a subscription to TrueDFS.com. You get access to SaberSim, Goldie's projections, Sheets projections, the premium Discord, all this stuff. So check it out, like and subscribe. If you want to jump in, there's trials available. Give it a try, see how you like it, see how you could build a process and what the potential it has for you. So don't forget to check that out. And with that, I am going to get out of here, and I wish you good luck on tonight's slate.